Hi everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Blair and today's video is a get to know me video. I'm going to be doing my makeup and answering the questions that you guys have left for me over the past few weeks, and hopefully this will help you guys get to know me a little bit better. So I hope you enjoy. Make sure to grab a snack or a cup of coffee. This is probably going to be a long video, but I really enjoyed it, so I hope you guys do too. Let me know you liked it by giving it a thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed before you leave. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's get started. We're going to do the eyes first today. I'm going to use my Nars Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base first in the shade Light. Okay, the first question is, where did you grow up? This is such an interesting question. Usually this kind of question you would just kind of answer quickly and move on, but this is not a quick question for me. We moved a lot when I was growing up. I was born in Georgia. I was born in Gainesville, Georgia, and lived in Athens, Georgia when I was just a baby. Then we moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. We lived there for a few years, then moved to Tampa, Florida, lived there for a while, then Birmingham, Alabama, and then Columbia, South Carolina. Then, let's see, I'm getting confused. Then to Raleigh, North Carolina. That's where my husband and I got married, and after we got married we moved to Greer, South Carolina, which is outside of Greenville, and we just moved outside of Charlotte. So in a way my life has kind of come full circle, I guess, because I lived in Charlotte when I was really little, and now I'm not living in Charlotte but right outside of Charlotte. So my life has kind of come full circle. I'm using my new Naked Honey palette today, just in case you were wondering, and kind of to go off of where I'm from or where I grew up. We moved a lot because my dad worked in banking, and in that industry you typically move a lot in order to kind of move up. So we always moved because of his job. So I feel like I've lived in most places in the South. I've only ever lived in the South. So that's kind of the answer to where did I grow up. I didn't grow up in one particular place. I guess I lived in Columbia, South Carolina the longest, so I guess maybe I would consider that where I grew up, but honestly it wasn't my favorite place in the entire universe. So I don't really have one specific place where I grew up, but I was born in Georgia. I just went in with the shade Flyby all over my eyelids. Next question is, did you go to college? And if so, what did you go to college for? This is also kind of an interesting question. Yes, I did go to college. I started college at the University of South Carolina in Columbia. Like I was saying, we lived in Columbia for a while. I went to high school in Columbia and then went to the University of South Carolina, also in Columbia. I went there for about, I guess it was about 2.5 years, and then I ended up moving to Raleigh, North Carolina, and I went to NC State. And at NC State, I actually studied fashion and textile management, more specifically brand management and marketing. Funny enough, when I was at South Carolina, when I first started college, I started out as an early childhood education major. Actually, most of my life I said I was going to be a teacher. I wanted to teach kindergarten. for my whole life, really. I thought whenever someone asked me what I wanted to do, that was always my answer, that I wanted to be a teacher. I went to school and I started out in teaching. Did that for a little while, decided I didn't think that was for me. I then decided to transfer to nursing. I did nursing for a little while, and the reason I did that was because I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I just knew so many people that always talked about how great a career nursing was, and you wouldn't have trouble finding a job after you graduate and all these things. So I decide, okay, I'm going to be a nurse. I do that for a little while. I then decide, no, I'm not going to be a nurse. I'm going back to education. I'm going to be a teacher. So I went back to education. I did that for a little while. Then I decided, no, I'm going to try nursing again. I went back to nursing. So I made 4 changes to my major in a very short amount of time, and I did each one twice. I know. Decided finally neither one of those things were right for me. And at the time, my family was moving to Raleigh, North Carolina, and I'm very close with my mom, and I wanted to be near her for sure. So I decided I was going to move to Raleigh also and transfer to NC State, which I did. And my husband, now my boyfriend at the time, moved with me to Raleigh when I moved. He's older than me, so he moved when I moved. I was still in school and he was out of school, working also in banking at the time. So kind of a long answer, but I went to the University of South Carolina, then to NC State. I graduated from NC State with a fashion textile management degree for brand management and marketing. So I went from education to nursing to education to nursing to fashion and textile management. I know, it's crazy. And what's funny is now I don't work in any of those fields. Well, actually, I guess I kind of work in the medical field now, so I guess I'll move on to the next question, which is, what is your job? What do you do for a living? I work for a home health company. I work from home and I do scheduling. So I schedule basically patients that have been in a rehab facility or they've been in the hospital. They come home and they need home health services. I am the one that sets up the services for them. So I do that from home. And that is the last thing I thought I would be doing. But that is what I do. That's my full-time job. It's very time consuming. It takes a lot of time, which is why sometimes it's really hard for me to get all of my videos done and edited and up because my full-time job is very demanding and I spend a lot of time on that. So, but I do get to work from home, which I'm very grateful for, and that is the job I've had since I've been out of school, and I am continuing to do the same thing now that we've moved. Loving this Naked Honey palette so far. I've wanted this palette for so long, and I finally ended up ordering it from Urban Decay because they were doing Friends and Family. I'm not sure if that'll still be going on once this video goes up, but I was able to get this palette 25% off, so I was excited about that. Okay, moving on to the next 2 questions, which were, when did you get married and how did you meet your husband? So I guess I'll answer how I met my husband first. At the time I was at USC in Columbia, like I said, and one of my friends that I worked with at the time, I worked at Victoria's Secret actually at that time, and one of my friends that I worked with there knew my now husband, and we actually ended up meeting at her house, and we went to a USC football game together, and that is how I met my husband. He, funny enough, is a huge USC fan, but he did not go to USC. He went to the University of Georgia, and it's just so funny now because he loves South Carolina. He's a huge, huge Gamecock fan, and he went to the University of Georgia, which you would not think. If you're familiar with the South and the SEC, then you know that if you go to UGA, you're probably not a South Carolina fan, but my husband is. The next question was, when did you get married? We got married in 2017 in May. So we've been married now for over 3 years. So 2017. Gosh, this palette is so pretty. I love it. Okay, next question was, what does your husband do for a living? I actually considered having him come in and explain to you what he does, because he could definitely explain it better than me, but basically he works for a small wealth management firm, and he is kind of a portfolio manager. So he analyzes stocks, he places trades and that kind of stuff. So he manages clients' portfolios and kind of, I guess, manages their stocks. That's about as much information as I have about what he does, but that kind of moves me into the next question. Why did we move recently? We moved for his job. He took a new job outside the Charlotte, North Carolina area, so that is why we moved. Just gonna take some of these golden shimmer shades now on my finger and put that on my lid. So the next question, I've been sitting here trying to decide what my answer is to this, and the question is, why or what inspired you to start making YouTube videos? And when I read that question, I don't immediately have an answer. It's kind of strange. I was not someone that watched YouTube until I guess when I was at NC State, like my first year at NC State. I remember one day I was on Pinterest and I saw a link to an Ingrid Nilsson YouTube video. She was Miss Glamorazzi at that time, and it was a makeup video. I remember I clicked on it. It was like a back to school makeup video or something. I forget what it was. Something to do with makeup. I clicked on it, and I'd never watched YouTubers before. I never really heard anyone talking about it. I'd never done it. I started watching her, and I just immediately kind of fell in love with YouTube. And you know how you'll be watching a YouTube video and they recommend videos to you, or they suggest videos to you over on the side. And every time I would be watching her, new people would appear in my suggested videos. And so I felt like I was constantly, you know, finding new YouTubers that I like to watch. And I just kind of grew and grew and grew and grew and grew my love for makeup videos and just beauty YouTube in general. And I couldn't get enough of it. I could not get enough of it. I just loved it. But it wasn't something at that time that I ever thought that I would be able to do myself. I just loved watching it. I could just watch YouTube for hours. One day, my husband was out of town at the time, and actually, let me back up. A year before I actually started my channel, I would talk to my mom occasionally about starting YouTube, and we just kind of talked about it, like not like I was actually going to do it, but if I ever did it, we would talk about YouTube names and what I would name my channel and that kind of stuff. But it was never, I guess in the back of my head, I never thought I was actually going to do it, but it was something that we kind of talked about. And then one Saturday, my husband was out of town, I was at home by myself, and I remember I was sitting drinking my coffee in the morning and something came over me and I said, you know what, I'm gonna film a YouTube video today, and it may be horrible, I may not even be able to watch it after I film it, and if that's the case, that's okay. I don't have to do anything with it, I don't have to post it if I don't want to, but I just really had this desire to do it. So I got my iPhone 7 out at the time. I propped it up on a Bath & Body Works candle holder because I did not have a tripod or a camera for that matter or anything else at the time. And I filmed my first YouTube video. It was an everyday makeup video. I will link it in the cards for you if you want to go back and watch it. And I remember I sat down and I did it, and when I finished, I had the weirdest feeling. It was kind of like all this time I thought that wasn't something I was going to be able to do. It was going to be too hard for me. And then I finally did it, and I realized it wasn't hard. It was not hard. And what I mean by hard is it felt like what I was supposed to be doing, oddly enough. And it's kind of one of those things where I think about now that I'm out of college and, you know, I work full time, and I think about those times when I went back and forth between education and nursing and education again and then nursing, and then I ended up doing fashion textile management, which at the time was definitely the right choice for me. But looking back now, all that time I never really knew what my passion was. I just never knew it. I did not love makeup growing up. I mean, I liked it, but it wasn't something that I was super passionate about. I did not become really passionate until I was in college and I started watching YouTube, and I just fell in love with it. I fell in love and I made my first YouTube video. I remember I had no idea how to edit a video. I had no idea how to even get the footage from my iPhone onto my Mac at the time, which was also very old. It was almost 10 years old. So it did have iMovie on it, but because it was such an old laptop, the iMovie would crash a lot and it just didn't work that well. And then when I finished my videos, it took a really long time for it to finalize or export. So I eventually got a new Mac, thank goodness. But at the time, that was kind of a struggle because my computer wasn't working too well and it just took forever to edit a video. But fast forward a few months, I kept doing it and I fell in love. I felt madly, madly in love. My YouTube is kind of like my child in a way. I don't have any children. I have fur children. I don't have any baby, like human babies, but I feel like YouTube is my child in a way. And I just mean that it's something I'm really proud of and something that's really, really important to me. And that's why the last month or so, when I haven't been able to post, that's been really hard for me because I love to post. I love to film videos and I even like to edit them, honestly. And when I couldn't do that really, because I just had so much stuff going on, it was killing me. It was driving me crazy. So I'm so glad to finally kind of be back in a routine and be back to filming my videos and having two up 2 times a week. I would love to get to where I can upload 3 times a week. My goal for myself is to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's just right now 2 times a week is all I can really handle, but my goal for myself is to upload 3 times a week. That was kind of a long answer to what inspired you to make YouTube videos, but that really is what happened. It wasn't any one thing. It was just kind of like one day I just really wanted to do it. I did it, and I'm so happy that I did, because it was the first time in my life when I did something and it felt like the right thing to do. Okay, that's all I'm gonna do on the eyes for now. I'm gonna do my face makeup and then I'll come back to the eyes. Oh, this palette though, you guys, if you like golden, bronzy tones and you don't have this palette, you need it in your life. It blends beautifully, these colors. Oh, I love them. Love them so much. And it comes with a brush, which I love. I'm gonna quickly use my makeup wipe here and kind of clean up my eyeshadow just a little bit. I don't seem to have a whole lot of fallout, which is nice. I'm gonna quickly do my eyebrows with my Benefit Precisely My Brow. I use the shade 3.5. So the next few questions were not asked by anyone, but I just think that they're interesting, so I'm adding them in here. They're things that I really like to know about people when I watch these videos. One of them is, who are your favorite YouTubers? And I have a lot. I have a lot of people that I really like, but I'm going to share my absolute favorites with you. And please share anyone that you love in the comments so that we can all discover new people. One of my recent favorites is Makeup Blake. She does a lot of clean beauty videos, and I just love her makeup style. She has a really simple but beautiful way of doing makeup, and I just really love her. I love her personality. She has such a soothing voice. Her videos are so relaxing. I typically watch them either really late at night or first thing in the morning, just because her videos are always so relaxing, and I just really enjoy everything that she does. I will put her Instagram and her username up on the screen and in the description box, but she's one of my favorites. I also love Shelby Wilson. She was one of the first YouTubers I started watching. She was kind of known for Bare Minerals videos when she first started, and she still does really great Bare Minerals videos now, but she also kind of has a similar way of doing makeup to Makeup Blake. Just very simple, not super dramatic, but super beautiful. I just love her whole vibe, her personality. I love her channel, and she does do a lot of Bare Minerals content, so if you are interested in Bare Minerals, you would love her. A lot of you probably already watch her. Another one of my favorites that I've been watching her for years. I've been watching her since she lived at home and filmed her videos like in her bedroom at her parents' house, Alex Garza. I think when I started watching her, she had, I want to say like, I don't even know, 50,000 subscribers maybe or less, and now she has over 900,000 subscribers. But when I started watching her, she was definitely under 50,000 or right around 50,000. But I love her. She kind of does more fashion and lifestyle content. I love her. I love her vlog channel she has with her husband Michael. Let's see, who else do I like? Another recent discovery that I really have been loving is Ann P. Makeup and More. She just really makes me laugh. I love her personality. I think she is such just a genuine person, and that's what I love to watch. I like to watch people that you can clearly see how genuine they are. They're not put on, they're not fake in any way, they just kind of tell it like it is. That's one of the reasons I really like her. I also really love Leah Janae, I think is how you say her name. She does lots of makeup videos, lots of hauls, and she does a lot of TJ Maxx videos. So if you're interested in TJ Maxx beauty and kind of the deals you can find there, she does a lot of those videos. Every Sunday she has a TJ Maxx makeup video, which I love TJ Maxx and I love to watch her. Another one of my favorite YouTubers is Lisa J. I just love her. She is the founder and the creator of BK Beauty. So I use a lot of those brushes in my videos and I love her so much. She does makeup tutorial type videos. She worked for MAC for quite a while, so she does a lot of education based videos, which I love, but you guys would love her. If you don't watch her already, definitely go follow her for sure. She's another one of my favorites. We're gonna move away from the eyes for a second. That look kind of crazy because I don't have any other makeup on, but I'm gonna take a little bit of this primer. It's the Benefit POREfessional primer. This is the hydrating one. I used this yesterday for the first time in quite a while, and I actually really liked it. I kind of forgot about this primer for some reason. I've had this little mini size for quite a while, and I don't ever use it for some reason, but I really liked it yesterday. Now I'm just going to use a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. I'm sorry if the lighting keeps changing. If I filmed another video yesterday and I talked about this. I currently do not have my ring light. It got broken in the move and I haven't gotten my new one yet. So the only thing I have are windows in front of me. I don't have any lighting at all. So if you see things kind of changing, that's why. Just using natural light. Okay, next question. This is another one I just added in because I think it's interesting, and it's what is your Starbucks order? And a lot of you probably know I am a huge coffee fanatic. I have a few Starbucks orders depending on the time of day and what kind of mood I'm in. The first is just a plain black iced coffee. I don't add cream or anything in it. I do add stevia to it. I'm a big stevia person. Other than that, I don't put anything in my iced coffee typically, other than a little bit of stevia. If I want some espresso, I get a tall triple upside down cappuccino. Basically that is actually, they used to have a drink on their menu called a latte macchiato, and that's my favorite. It's basically steamed milk, foam, and then the espresso gets poured on the top. And they took that drink off the menu like 6 months ago or so, and so basically the way to order it now is a cappuccino upside down with an extra shot, so that's why I ordered that way. But that is more of an espresso tasting drink, and I get a triple tall because I get an extra shot, so I get 3 shots instead of 2. And then my other drink that I don't get often but I love them is a pumpkin spice latte. I love Starbucks pumpkin spice lattes. I love them iced and hot. I do not like them with whipped cream. I like it with the seasoning they put on top, like the cinnamon and the nutmeg. That I love that, but I do not like whipped cream on my drinks. So I get a pumpkin spice latte, hot or iced, depending on what I'm in the mood for, without whipped cream. Let me know in the comments what your go-to Starbucks drink is. I love to know what other people order, although I never feel like I want to branch out that much just because I hate paying for a drink and then not liking it. Starbucks is so expensive that I don't like to get something and then be disappointed. So I feel like I don't branch out very often, but let me know in the comments what your go-to coffee drink is. Even if it's not a Starbucks drink, just what you like to drink. If you're a coffee person like me. I just applied a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Vanish Corrector. Moving on, next question is, do you have any pets? A lot of you have probably seen them. Yes, I do. I have a cat. Her name is Belle, and I have a golden retriever named Cosmo. They make appearances in quite a few of my videos. They always want to be in here with me when I film videos. I try so hard to get in here by myself so they won't distract me and make noise, but that's really hard to do. I also have to stop filming my videos a lot of the time and try to get Cosmo to stop barking because he barks a lot and it's very hard sometimes to film because he just will not be quiet. This house is 2 stories, which makes it a little bit easier. In my old house, it was only 1 story, so and the walls were very thin, so you could really hear anything that was happening in the house. Even if you have the door closed, it really didn't make a difference, but in this house, at least, it's 2 stories and my office is upstairs, so I have a little bit of separation, which is nice, but I do have to start and stop my videos multiple times when I'm filming because almost always I have to go try to get him to stop barking. And my cat, you've probably seen her too. Her name is Belle. She is my little BFF. I love my cat. I'm definitely a cat person if I had to choose. I love dogs, but I love cats the most. And I love Belle. We have a special connection. I love her. Okay, moving on to foundation. I'm using my Nars Sheer Glow foundation in the shade 4.5 Vienna. And I'm going to use my BK Beauty 101 brush. This is the brush I was referring to earlier, Lisa J, here on YouTube. These are her brushes, and I love them. I'm going to take that directly on my brush and just go in like this. Next question, and this is kind of funny too. What is your nickname? I don't really have a nickname. I guess at some points in my life, some people have called me B. So I guess B is my nickname. But other than that, I don't really have a nickname. I just go by Blair. Unless there's something I just don't remember, but I don't think I really have a nickname. But people have called me B in the past, so I guess B is my nickname. Who is your celebrity girl crush? Oh gosh, so this is hard. I have a few. Blake Lively, I love her. I think she is absolutely beautiful, so definitely her. Lauren Conrad, yes, I love Elsie. If you watched The Hills or you watched Laguna Beach and you love Lauren Conrad, let me know. Hilary Duff, I love Hilary Duff. I've been a huge Hilary Duff fan since I was a little girl. So I love her also. That kind of leads into my next question, which was your favorite TV show as a child. So I had a few. I guess as a child, my all-time favorite would have been Lizzie McGuire, because that's where my love for Hilary Duff came from. I loved that show. I mean, I looked forward to that show. I looked forward to watching it. I just loved it. And that's kind of where my love for Hilary Duff came from. I had Metamorphosis, the CD, and I loved that. I loved the Hilary Duff movie, or not the Hilary Duff, the Lizzie McGuire movie. I think they're actually bringing Lizzie McGuire back, or maybe they're not now because of COVID, but I thought a few months ago I saw that they were bringing Lizzie McGuire back, and it was going to be like her later on in life. Let me know if you've heard that in the comments, but I'm not sure if that is actually happening or not. And I also loved Sister Sister, and actually Sister Sister is on Netflix now, so I'm thinking I might even go through and watch that again, because I loved that show. I love that one too. And my favorite show of life, of all time, by far, ever, is Gilmore Girls. I don't even remember when I started watching Gilmore Girls, but I have loved that show for the longest time. I've watched it so many times I can recite the episodes. Truly, that show is so comforting to me. I've heard other people say that too. For some reason, that show just really comforts me. I think it's for a lot of reasons, but I think it's because I relate to that show so much. I relate to the relationship between Rory and her mom, because I have that kind of relationship with my mom. So I don't know, I just love it. So many times at night, if I can't go to sleep, I will turn on Gilmore Girls on my phone on Netflix and just listen to it, because it kind of calms me down. So that is my favorite show of all time. So that leads me into my next question, which was, what is your favorite reality TV show? That would definitely be The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. I know. I love that show, though. I look forward to it on Mondays. Actually, when I'm filming this, it's like a week away from The Bachelorette starting. It starts on October 13th, I believe. And I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I've missed it the past few months, and that's just something I love. Even my husband watches it. He watches it with me. He probably wouldn't admit that, but he does. Okay, the next question is, someone asked me who my favorite sports team was, which this is kind of funny. So let me start by saying I am not a sports person. I did not play a sport growing up. I am just not a sports person. It just doesn't interest me. It's just not my thing. I never played a sport in school. Never had any desire to. Still don't. So I'm not a huge sports person. Like I said earlier, my husband is a huge South Carolina Gamecocks fan, and I did go to school there for 2 years, but I would not say that I'm a huge Gamecock person. I guess if I had to pick a team, it would be Furman, because my uncle coaches football at Furman, and when we lived in the Greenville area, we would go to those games on Saturdays when they played at home. If you're not familiar, Furman is a college, a small college in Greenville, South Carolina. So I guess if I had to pick a team, that would be my team. But other than that, I'm not really a sports person. I haven't used this bronzer in quite a while, and I forgot, I didn't forget, but I kind of forgot how much I liked it. It's the Milani Silky Matte Bronzer in the shade 01 Sunlight. I forgot how much I love this. This is my, I want to say this is my favorite drugstore bronzer for sure. For blush, I'm going to use a little bit of this Patrick Ta blush. This is, what is this? Oh, She's Different is the shade. It's so pretty. It's such a fall shade. I love it. It's kind of a berry tone. It's so pretty. Next question. This one is really hard. I still don't really know the answer to this question. I mean, I kind of know what I would say, but I kind of don't. And it's, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live? Truly, I don't know. I would probably say in Georgia again. That's where I was born. That I would probably live in a suburb, like outside Atlanta, like Marietta or no, you know where I would live? I would live in Buckhead in Atlanta, which is like the really nice part of Atlanta. That's probably where I would live, but honestly, I like the Charlotte area, which is where I am now. It's funny, my husband, when I told him what the questions were, he was saying, please do not say New York City, because he knows how much I love New York, and I do, but I don't think I could ever live there, but I do love it. So I would probably say the Atlanta area, specifically Buckhead. Going in with my Honey palette again, I'm going to put just a little bit of shadow on my lower lash line. The next question is, who is your favorite singer? My favorite singer is John Mayer. I love John Mayer. I love that relaxed kind of vibe that his music has. I love it so much. I love pretty much every song he's ever come out with. I love them all. I just think he's really relaxing. I also love country music. I love Luke Bryan. I love Keith Urban. I love Blake Shelton. So yeah, I really like country, but I also love John Mayer. He'd be my favorite. Going in with a little bit of the dark brown on a little angled brush, and I'm just going to run this on my lash line. Just at the outer half of my lash line. Just curling my lashes now. Those are all the questions I have written down. So hopefully you guys got to know me a little bit better. If you have more questions, leave them in the comments. I'll probably do another one of these videos at some point. So if you have a question for me, please leave it in the comments and I will answer it in my next Q&A. So I love these kinds of videos. I love to watch these kinds of videos because if you're anything like me, when you watch someone on YouTube consistently, like somebody that you really like watching, you start to get really curious about them. And that's how I am. So I knew I wanted to film this video just in case you all were wondering about me, which I'm not that interesting, but if you were wondering, hopefully this video answers some of your questions. Going back to the YouTube question again and what inspired me to start making YouTube videos, I answered this already kind of, but the other thing I did want to mention, I didn't really touch on this earlier, but I am not someone in real life. I mean, people that have known me in real life would not, I would assume, think that I would be someone that would do YouTube. I'm just not a very outgoing person. I'm very quiet and I'm pretty introverted. I'm pretty shy. So I'm definitely not your typical person you think of when you think of someone doing YouTube, and not that everyone is the same, because we're definitely not, but you do kind of have to have a good bit of self-confidence, I guess, to put yourself out there in videos, because you are kind of asking for people's opinion of you, and you know, that can be really scary, and it can be hard. It can be really hard, and that is one thing that makes me really proud that I started YouTube, because I'm not a super self-confident person, I would say. I've definitely gotten more self-confident as I've gotten older, but when I was younger, I definitely wasn't. And if I think about myself like 10 years ago when I was 18, I would have never in a million years thought I would make YouTube videos, ever. Ever. I'm just not, I don't know, it's just not something I ever thought would be something I would do. But it just goes to show you, sometimes you don't know. You don't know what you are capable of doing if you don't try it, which is why I'm so glad that that Saturday when I had the urge to try to film a YouTube video, I did it, because it wasn't an easy thing for me to do, but I'm so happy that I did. And the reason I'm bringing that up is if there's anyone watching this video that wants to start a YouTube channel, but you're maybe a little intimidated or you're scared to do it, I would really encourage you to try it. If it's something that you love and that you're passionate about, don't let being scared of doing it stop you from doing it, because I know what that's like. I've definitely been there. I've definitely felt scared to upload a video and put yourself out there online. It is a scary thing. Trust me, if I can do it, anybody can do it, because I am not, like I said, somebody that you would typically think would make YouTube videos and put them up online. I'm just not. So don't let being scared stop you, is my point. So I just applied a little bit of lip liner. This is KKW Beauty Nude 1.5. And then I really want to wear this lip. I just got this. It may not really go with this lip liner or with this eye look, but I really want to use it. It's the Rare Beauty Lip Souffle Matte Lip Cream in the shade Brave. It's kind of an orangey terracotta kind of color, and I got this because I saw Casey Holmes wear this, which actually I didn't mention Casey Holmes earlier, but she is another one of my favorites here on YouTube. Ooh, that's really nice actually. These are very velvety feeling. I like it though. She wore this color, which is Brave, and then she put this on top. It's the With Gratitude Dewy Lip Balm in the shade Blessed, which is kind of a bright pink kind of shade, which I wouldn't normally think to pair this together, but she did, and it looked really good on her. So I'm just gonna add a little bit. Oh yeah, that's really pretty. I love this combo. So that's it for today's video. I really hope that you guys feel like you know me a little bit more, and I just love to watch these kinds of videos from people that I love to watch, so I thought it would be fun to kind of share a little bit more about me. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give the video a thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed. I post new videos every Wednesday and Friday. Also, make sure you're following me over on Instagram at the same username, simply.blair. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Remember, simply be you. Bye.